My name is Mahesh. I've been working in this company for the last 28 years. Joined in 88 at the age of 21 and have moved through various businesses, locations and functions. And I'm currently leading the power business of the company. In fact, there's a story as to why I joined Thermax. And I think we were in the third year of our college and we had come to Pune for a tour to some of the industries out here. And Thermax was one of the companies because many of my seniors were working in Thermax. So it was one of the companies whom we had planned to visit. And we visited about 8 to 10 companies in this one-week trip. And I recollect Thermax very well because this was one company which made us feel very special. We were a bunch of about 8-10 students. We were actually out here to have some fun time. And a study was just incidental. But it ended up Thermax took this pretty seriously, and I don't recollect who was the guy, but I think they took a lot of care and actually showed us the entire plant. But I think what was the icing on the cake was they actually gave us excellent lunch. And I remember we had that old greenhouse in the factory, and we were taken, ushered in, and there was a table with white cloth put on it as if we were guests, and there were many other employees who were having lunch, and we were suddenly ushered in, and we were offered lunch. No other company did that, and that was the first impression of this company, of a company which cares. For an absolute, we were outsiders. There was no possibility whether we would in any way remain engaged with the company in the future. But that gesture actually, it remained imprinted in my mind. So that was the first touch point for me with Thermax. What I can very clearly, remember, and it's still very strong in my mind, is two things. One is the strong investment in people. When I say investment, it's investment by the company, but more importantly by the people of the company. In the sense, your peers, your bosses, you're not even bosses. It was like a huge, old, undivided family where everybody is somebody's, your uncle's aunt. They would treat you as your own child. So here, whether you're somebody else who is not your boss would also take care and be interested in what's happening to you. And the sort of time we used to spend, and I got as a mentoring from many of my superiors, was something amazing. And I think in the formative years that mentoring is extremely important, because as straight away out of college you really don't know what makes sense, and that mentoring really helped you to orient yourself to an organization. I think that was one very important thing. The bets which the organization used to take on people. I myself have got maybe 7 job rotations in the first 12 years. And I think people taking bet when I was still not ready, at least I thought I was not fully ready. And that actually forces somebody to fully explore the potential of Thermax. And I think that was very, very important in shaping up whom I became later on. And that used to do not only on people, it used to bet on technologies, it used to bet on what will work when solving a problem which a customer would face. There were not solutions, so we have been taking bets in trying out things. We have failed a couple of times, but that never stopped us from taking bets. So I think somewhere betting on people, betting on technology, betting on solutions which would help customer was something which I thought was a very important part of Thermax in those days. This is actually an extremely fascinating story, and I think this story started in the year 1994, and that was the time Mr. Aga, he was as usual somebody who used to think ahead of time, and he was invited on the US Department of Energy and the Indian government had a joint working body, and Mr. Aga was co-opted on that body. And that's when he understood the entire energy market of both USA, and then he compared that with what's happening in India, and he realized that India will also go through the same growth, evolution and opportunities in the power space. And I think that's when he realized that we needed to be in power as a business. Thermax had anyway got into the power business because we used to manufacture some of the components which go into a power plant. Like we used to manufacture boilers, which some of the customers later on started using for power plant, which were high temperature boilers. But we were just giving boilers and the associated equipment like water treatment and air pollution control. But somewhere he believed that there is a place for somebody to be a much more serious player. And that's when he decided to said that we need to make a mark into power. And he was a big fan of the combined heat and power, the cogeneration efficiency. And in fact, if you read his book, Changing the Mindset, there is one full lesson and one full chapter on cogeneration, the economics of cogeneration, a high efficiency game. I think that's the name of that. So he personally believed that cogeneration is a beautiful solution to meet India's energy need. And then he handpicked Ramni to start this business. Ramni by that time had already proven his mettle as a guy who could launch new businesses. So he had already launched, and he was a product manager for the successful Multi-Therm, had launched the exhaust gas boilers in HRD, and under HRD had also launched vapor absorption chillers. So he was a man known to be launching new products and businesses. So I think that's why I guess Mr. Aga sort of asked Ramni that why don't you lead this business. And so under the sort of umbrella of HRD, this small group was set up, an incubating group, and typically in Ramni style it was christened as CHAPS. So that was Combined Heat and Power Solution, CHAPS. So it was CHAPS, so it was looking very cool, and absolutely everybody thought this is the place to be in. So that was Ramni's magic, to be able to convert something into something which very desirable. So a set of people started offering deciding what do we do in power, and that was a very interesting period. This was 1994. So what do we do in power? So do we want to sell gas turbines? Do we want to sell diesel engine sets? Because India at that point of time, in India, the power business was largely driven by either the large plants which companies like BHL used to build for NTPC or any state electricity board. That was perhaps far too big for the size of the company that we were. And the second was to sell diesel generators, which companies like Wärtsilä, Sulzer and MAN used to do. That was the captive power plant using diesel generating sets. Or the third was to put a gas turbine based power plant. So the field was open, and Mr. Ramni was given the mandate to develop a power business which would best complement the Thermax's existing portfolio and also leverage the existing competency. And then slowly we realized that for us the best bet is to become an EPC contractor. That is to put entire turnkey supplier of power plants all under a solution under one roof, so that a customer doesn't have to run after 5 agencies and he can just trust one agency to deliver the entire power plant. And that's what we finally decided to get into. And after that clarity, then Thermax started bidding for multiple projects. And our first breakthrough came in the year 1996 for a customer called Arvind Mills. Arvind Mills those days was setting up the world's largest denim project, the Lee Jeans manufacturing at Ahmedabad, and it was in 1996. And by Indian standards, it was a global scale project being set up in India. And they were looking at an integrated power and steam solution. So that completion of that project in 1998 suddenly brought us to the center stage. If not the center stage, at least we became one of the players to be recognized and where inquiries would start coming.